Good afternoon everyone, and welcome once again to Ed's Orchids. Another bright day today, a little cold, but nevertheless it's bright and very pleasant. Now, we haven't finished the repotting, and this is a paphiopedilum Lady Isabel. It's been in exactly the same state now for the last 2.5 years. It's just been like that. It hasn't moved. There's no new growth in 2.5 years, but it's just stayed as it is. So I'm thinking that if I split it, or not split it, if I repot it, it might force it into flowering. It's happened before, but we'll see if we can do it again. Right, we'll have to take the label out. Lady Isabel, cross between Stony Eye and Rothschildianum. And it's a must that I have to take this out. There's no new growth or anything. So let's have a look at it. I hope you can still see that. Well, there's bark in, there's growth stones in. Let's have a look at the roots. Plenty of roots, but they're feeling a bit dry, although they're wet down here. So let's clean it up and see if we can clean the roots up, get all this wood off, bark rather. See what's what. Well, I'll clean it up first and then I'll come back to you. You don't want to see me piddling around with it all the time, do you? Well, there's the root system. I've removed as much as I can of the bark, but there's literally hundreds of roots in there, and some of them need slipping. Sorry, some of them need snipping off. So I'll carry on snipping with my trusted little weapon here, and I've got quite a lot of snipping to do. You've probably noticed that I never sterilise any instruments. It's probably wrong of me, but it's something I've never done, and I've never had many problems. That needs to come off. One down at the bottom here. There's not really any bad roots. They're just a touch soft at the end. I know that's one that's not so good. That comes off there. So I'll just clean this up and then I'll show you the roots properly. Well, I think I've done all I can at this one. All these roots you see are rock hard. And they're coming down and they're curling round, and I just can't get in there because there's far too many roots. There's another place round the back here as well. The roots are so rock hard. There's what looks like a new little growth coming up. Oh, that's good. That's the first for 3 years. And I've removed a leaf that was on its own. Sorry. I've removed this leaf from here because it was just a leaf all on its own, although it was a nice colour. And we just need to put a drop of dragon's blood on there. There we go. That'll stop anything happening there. So I've nothing to do now but pot this one up. I mean, I can't even split it. There's nowhere to split it. It's so cram jam full there, look. Loads and loads of roots. All as hard as iron. Right, so we'll pot this one up if we can. I don't know how I'm going to get much bark up there, but we'll do our best. Well, before I pot it up, I'm just going to give it a good soak in this RO water. It's pure RO water. It's, let's have a see. It's at 10 parts per million. And if you remember yesterday when I was taking the pH, I said I didn't understand why it came out at 7.8 out of the RO water. But I got some this morning, I put the pH meter in it and it said 7.8. So what I did do then was I left it in for a good 20 minutes. And blow me, it slowly and slowly dropped by 0.1 to 6.9. In fact, I'll just do it again and show you what I mean. The switch on, put it in the water, and it's up at 8.21. And if I leave it in there for 20 minutes, it'll drop and drop and drop down to 6.9. So just don't stick your pH meter in and thinking that's a good reading. Leave it in for at least 10 minutes and then you'll get a proper reading. Well, the roots on this plant looked, well, they didn't look wet, but they looked quite dry in fact. So I've put them in here and I'm not putting any fertiliser in because I think the roots were a little bit too dry to add fertiliser, because if you add fertiliser to dry roots then you're after a little bit of trouble. So don't forget, if the roots are dry, don't fertilise, just flush with nice clean water. Just pot this one up now. The roots are quite wet now, so that should be fine. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put, it's no use going down on pot size because they only just fit in there. I'm going to put some large bark in the bottom because I think paphiopedilums prefer a lot of room. You know, they don't like being bunched together in fine bark. Bit too much in there. That's about right. But I'll put some more coarse bark in now, which will give more air to the plants. And if I give more air to the plants, it means it'll dry out a little bit quicker. And if you notice, I've got some holes in the pot to make it dry out a little bit quicker, and which will mean I'll have to water it more often. So that's good for me because I'm always in here every day just checking things. That's fine. So we'll get rid of all this large bark. Just a little bit smaller in, just to cover up the gaps. Some of these plants, you know, the mother plant won't give its offspring shoots roots. A great one is the Philippinense. So Paphiopedilum philippinense won't give the new growths any roots until it's at least 2 years old. Don't ask me why, but that's just how it is. In fact, I've got a Phragmipedium somewhere I'll try and show you that's doing exactly the same thing. You know, the new plant is growing just above the surface, and it has no roots on at all yet. So I don't think that'll make much progress until it's got enough roots. Right, let's give it a good pat this now. Still needs quite a lot of bark in here. That's better. Just got the new growth showing above. That's lovely. More bark down here. All new bark this. Bit of growth stones in it. Right, we'll put the label back in. And in a minute, later on this afternoon, I will give it another good watering. That's Paphiopedilum Lady Isabel. Another paphiopedilum. It's a cross between Colupa kingii and Rothschildianum, and it looks like it's in too big of a pot. There's just, you can see it's flowered from there, and then there's just one new growth coming up like that. But that's been growing for at least 12 months at least, and that's how big it's got. So this is another we have to look at. Might have to take this off completely, I think, if there's any roots knocking around, if it's worth it, and put it in a smaller pot. So we'll just have a look at that. These are quite damp with this one. Roots are all hard, I think. No, that one isn't. So we'll snip that one off. Hard at the top, so I'll go where it's showing a bit of live root. No, it's not showing any at all. So I'll have that one off. There's another one here what wants to come off. I keep going out of camera range, I'm so sorry. Now this is so old, this plant, that all this you can see here is rootstock. And I don't think I can split it. No, I can't take the adult one off because it's not giving that plant any roots. And I don't know whether I should take this off or not. Yeah, I can get it off. See if I can show you properly. It's at times like this when you break it and you're left with no plant at all. Just get as much off as we can of this rotting leaf. Until we can see it nice and green where it's entering the substrate. Right, that looks a lot better. You see that one there. nice and clean now. The roots, a bit soft at the bottom, a bit soft there. That's right. Now it's going back into this stone there. It's going back into this compost, so I don't want any dead roots in it. This is a dead root. Oh, that's doing alright. Get the bits out. That's the dead root there. So we'll remove that. It's funny, you know, some of these plants when you get them. See, this is dead. Although it's hard, it's dead. There's nothing there. And I'm dropping all the bits in there again. Why don't I just move? Whoops. I'll just move that over there. Then I don't get them in. That's right. This is another one that's no good. And there's more. There's around here. Just snip the ends off that. Ah, that's nice and green. So is that one. And so is that one. So I think that's about it. Yep. What's that one like here? So we'll just leave it at that and put it up in the same compost and let it grow. This is quite damp, so that should be fine. So we'll pot that one up again. If I've got a smaller pot, I'll use that, but I don't think I've got one. I tell a lie, I've got one. How about that one? And the plant fits in it very nicely. There we are. Yep, we'll use that one. And I think we'll do away with that. We'll do away with that boy. We can use it again for the frags or something like that when it dries out. And we'll get some new. We'll put a few big ones in the bottom. We'll get the usual pieces of wood, and it's Orchid, which you don't expect. So I've put some large bark in the bottom there, and I've got some new bark there, brand spanking new. So I'll put this in here. Slowly fill it up. This will need washing again because the bark's new, same as the other one. You know, you can buy orchids and they won't settle in for a couple of years sometimes, and then suddenly they'll start growing. If we haven't killed them before then, which I have done many a time. I've done it as well. Right, that'll do. We've just buried it that much. So we'll see how that goes on. That's Rothschildianum Coloperkingii. Well, as I said at the beginning, I would just show you a Phragmipedium, the big plant, and the new growth here. That the mother plant hasn't provided the new growth with new roots yet. You see that? There's nothing there. So I'm just going to put some finer bark underneath that, so when it does start sprouting the roots, it'll have something to grab hold of. Well, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see how these three plants get on here, especially the Lady Isabel. So I'd love that to flower, because they're really nice, the flowers on that one, and I would think it's flowering size. Anyhow, thank you very much once again for watching, and until next time, thank you for all your comments, and I'll see you later. Bye.